Hi, this is Jeff Miller, the headphone writer here at Crutchfield, and I'm here to talk about the Warwick Acoustics Bravura electrostatic headphone system. So you'll notice it's a complete headphone system. You get the headphones, the amp, the built-in DAC, and all the cables are included. As an overall headphone experience, one of the best I've ever heard. So if you're unfamiliar with electrostatic headphones, it's as if the sound is kind of coming at you from everywhere and nowhere at once. It's not as if you hear speakers or drivers doing work and sending stuff to your ear. It's just like you're of the sound, you're of the music that you're playing. That's not to say it doesn't have a sense of place. It does have a very specific instrument separation. You can hear vocals where they're supposed to be. The imaging is spot on. I've fired up a lot of different things on Qobuz. You know, everything from like the things you might expect to sound good from a high-end headphone, like singer-songwriter Julian Baker, Lucy Dacus, that kind of thing, where you're like real intimate and everything's in the mids and highs, and all of that sounds great. But then also like some of the stuff you might not expect, like really bass-heavy tracks like Styles P and Havoc Project, with like these grimy New York old school beats. You really just get that punch. And then there's this one that somebody sent me. It's a DJ I wasn't familiar with, Dimitri from Paris, who remixes a bunch of old Philly soul records like Harold Melvin and Teddy Pendergrass. Just a lot of cool stuff, and it didn't really matter. It could be like, you know, Pink Floyd and anything sprawling. Classical music has those great dynamics that you long for there. Just really anything I threw at it, it was kind of ready for, and it gave me the best version of. I think a lot of that is because the gear is sort of the vessel to the music versus like imposing itself or interrupting what the music is trying to do. I mainly listen from my computer with Qobuz. There's a USB Type-B input. There's also coaxial digital input, as well as stereo RCA analog inputs, and even a 3.5 millimeter mini jack. So again, I connected by USB, so I went in digitally and used the built-in DAC. It's a high-grade ESS Sabre DAC. Again, complete system, so it's built to serve up the best sound quality for the headphones. You know, they've implemented it in a way to where it's going to sound its best with the energizer, the amplifier, and ultimately the headphones. So the amp itself is machined aluminum. You've got the on-off switch on the back, and then on the front, it's the analog and digital switch, the digital volume control, which is really high precision, and the headphone connector. It's a connection only made for these specific headphones. So let's move from the amp to the Bravura headphones themselves. The amp is actually the same one they've had from a previous system, but the Bravura are the new and improved version of their headphones. I got to hear that old system and I really enjoyed it, but one of the drawbacks was that the bass impact wasn't quite what you expect. And that's sort of an electrostatic thing. The bass can be polite. It's not like the number one thing that electrostats, it's not the number one reason you grab for an electrostatic headphone, but they've tweaked the design, they've upgraded the stators in the driver, and they've addressed that issue, and I think they've done it really well. The other thing that they've addressed and improved is the comfort. If you've ever listened to electrostatic speakers and you've kind of gotten out of the sweet spot, you'll know that it can throw off the overall effect of the and stereo effect of the sound. And the same kind of thing with electrostatic headphones. They have to be placed in a certain way, and all the geometry is designed to keep the drivers positioned in a certain way to your ear. With the previous generation, a lot of reviewers complained that that was too tight. So what they've done is they've relaxed the fit a little bit. It's still very secure, but it doesn't have that overall clampy vice seal, and you can actually loosen it up a little bit. The headband is strong enough and pliable enough to where you can just loosen it up a little bit and make sure you get a comfortable fit, but still secure to where the drivers aren't going to move around. And then there's also this Cabretta leather. They're used in kind of pro higher end golf gloves. It's soft, but it's not like overly soft. It has a really good grip. Yeah, so the build quality overall is excellent. You know, again, they are strong and durable, but they don't feel overly heavy. If you look closely at the ear cups, there's a machined magnesium design. It's like this really specific pattern to make sure that they keep the drivers protected. I mean, that's another thing with electrostatic drivers. In previous generations, you had to worry about degradation over time, but these are just like really well put together. In fact, the drivers themselves are hand put together in their UK facility, and then they're individually matched for accuracy. So the system we have here is in this silver magnesium, which I think looks great, but if you prefer black, it's also available in black. So if you have any questions about the Warwick Acoustics Bravura or any other headphones, contact us here at Crutchfield and we'll help you out. Thank you for watching.